Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Hear Impact. I'm Gusande Hileos, and today we're going to talk about how we know that climate change actually exists, some scientific evidence. So, I don't know how much you know about the subject, but I'm guessing a lot. We see a lot on TV and news the last few weeks. What is happening with youth going on strikes and saying their views against climate change. And we know a lot, but we don't actually know a lot. They don't focus on the impacts or what is actually climate change. So that's why this episode is today, to explain a little bit about the scientific facts only. So climate change is not about the weather, and that's a really big misleading. It's about, I think most people think it's about high temperatures, rainfall, droughts, and this kind of things. But it's actually not. Climate change is about the impact of the climate changes the latest decades to extremes. That is actually what we fear for us humans, and for all living organisms on Earth. So it's not about only temperature rising, it's the whole group of impacts they'll have in the planet because of climate change and how that affects us and animals and other plants. So we all fear we're gonna end up have some negative impact in our lives, in our health, in actually how the species is going to evolve. So I'm gonna explain to you 5 scientific facts that are actually saying the impacts of climate change to the planet. So number one is actually a big thing, is about the ice sheets that are shrinking and shrinking. And why does it bother us? It's because actually the fresh water, the water that we can drink, although Earth is considered the blue planet, so most of it is water, we cannot drink all. Most of it is seawater, salinity, high salinity water. So the fresh water is only storage in ice because the rivers are going to the sea, so that water is lost. So the only water that is stored is ice in the mountains. And when the ice sheets and glaciers and the snow is melting, all these things are decreasing the storage we have with fresh water, the water we can drink. And that is a big impact for us. So we have less and less water to drink. We, the animals, the plants, everything. So that affects us. The other thing is that the second scientific fact is that because exactly the snow is melting with glaciers, the ice sheets, the sea is rising. And most of the population of Earth is actually living near sea, like Manhattan, New York, Holland. Most of it is under sea level. Netherlands, I mean. So most of the cities are actually living near the sea. So when the sea is rising, then most of these places is going to be under sea level. So we're going to have a lot of floods because of that. Number 3 is actually these extreme weathers events we have. So we have heat waves because of high temperature, but we have also heavy rainfall. So the rainfall that falls is very heavy. It's not like separating. Sometimes you have the same water, but you have specific events that has got heavy rains, and we have floods because of that, and that has a huge impact. We have erosion, we have droughts, and that's affect us and also other living organisms. Number 4 is about the oceans. So the ocean is very sensitive ecosystems. and because of the high temperature, is they are warming up. Consider like you put water to boil. So consider that happening to the oceans. And how all Earth is warming up is because of the currents in the oceans. So when the oceans are warming, these currents are changing. We have a cool and a warm current, and they can change how they move. So that will affect Earth tremendously. Earth can be colder, much colder because of that, just that. So oceans are have a big impact to how Earth is actually now. So, and not only that, but imagine the animals living in the oceans, how we are feeding from the oceans, the fish and so on. So that has got tremendous impact also on our health and other species. And the last thing is that carbon dioxide. So because we have climate change is because of gas emissions. So we're burning fuels, the carbon dioxide goes to the atmospheres, we have a greenhouse effect, and that's why the Earth is warming up. We have higher temperatures. But that carbon dioxide doesn't stay in my atmosphere. With the rainfall, with the wind, it just, at the end of the day, goes down, mainly to the ocean because of the water cycle. And that change the ocean, the chemistry of the ocean. They become acid. So they increase the pH, it become more acid than it is. And that change the chemistry and therefore the effects in the living organisms. They live there. And at the end of the day, us. So all these 5 scientific facts have a tremendous impact, not only us, but every species on Earth. And that's why we need to make action against climate change. We have to change our habits, change how we see the planet, how we don't see that it has impacts, but actually all these 5 scientific facts, 5 impacts of climate change on Earth is affecting us 100%. And if we want to be healthy and if we want to be here in the next decades, we have to change our habits. Thank you for being with me on Her Impact. Make knowledge your superpower, don't forget it, and I'll see you next time with another episode.